Hi friends, Stephanie here, and I'm back with more movie chatter. And what I have for you today is a segment that I started before my little health hiatus. It's 10 movies you need to watch. What I did is I just went around and I picked 10 random movies from different genres off my shelves. And these are movies that I really enjoyed and I recommended to friends or family, and they really enjoyed them. So I'm hoping that you'll either find something that you haven't seen, maybe something you haven't seen in a long time, and you can get some items to put on your watch list. Now I plan on doing this about once a month because it's a segment that I really did enjoy, and I was really excited about bringing it to you because I think it's a way to talk about titles we haven't talked about before, or maybe just not in a long time. So that's what today's video is about. And I also want to tell you, keep your notifications on this week because this is a week that you're going to see the interview that I did with my mom where she reviews 80 for Brady, and she talks about just her thoughts on film, which is pretty interesting. So you have that to look forward to. And also, I am expecting my Criterion order. It's not a big Criterion order, but we're going to talk Criterion a little bit. Probably the beginning of the week, like between Monday and Wednesday, my order should be here. But I have been talking Criterion with my friend Cinema Dave over on his channel. We do Saturday Lives every Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we've been doing Criterion recommendations for the past 2 or 3 weeks. We didn't do them this week, but we did the prior week. So if you want to see those, go over, check his lives out, where everything's right there. And we did lots of Criterion recommendations and Criterion content. So plenty to look forward to, but I'm going to get right into today's video because this is a ridiculously long intro that I really don't ever do. The first movie here, this is one that I only recently watched for the first time. I want to say about a month and a half ago. It's called Baby Teeth. And basically what we have is we have this girl. She's this girl on the front here. She's a young gal. She's about 16, 17 years old. She's also terminally ill. And she comes upon this guy. She's waiting, I believe it's at a train station. She meets this guy and he's just a mess. He's a total mess. And she is instantly drawn to him. And turns out he's a little older than her. He's kind of out there. He's got drug problems. He's got all kinds of problems. He's a mess. And she decides that this is the person that she is interested in. She brings him home. She wants him to meet her parents. She wants him to stay there. And what are they going to do? You know, their daughter is very sick. She's terminally ill. And this guy seems to make her happy as much as they don't approve of him. They try to make it work, and we follow them as a family on their journey dealing with this terminal illness, their daughter, this person that she's brought into their home, their feelings. And for me, this one it ticked all the boxes. It had comedic moments, it has like dark comedy moments, it has the heartfelt moments, it has the reality of having, you know, a person in your home, a child no less, that's really, really sick and probably not gonna be around for very long, and how the family copes with all of it. I thought this movie was really great, and I have to be honest, it rolled around in my head for about a week after I saw it, and I think it's really, really good and it's definitely worth checking out. So if you haven't seen Baby Teeth, do your homework, check it out, see if it's something you'd be interested in. And I thought, I put this off for a while because I thought it was going to be really depressing, and it's not. It's a really great movie about a tough subject, but really, really good stuff. So check it out and see if it's something that sounds like it would be of interest to you. This next one is, it's an A24 movie that I don't hear anybody talk about. I believe it's from 2015. I have loved this movie from the first time I saw it. It is Christopher Plummer in Remember. And Christopher Plummer plays a man who, I would say he's at like the mid to late stages of dementia. He is also a survivor of Auschwitz, a Nazi concentration camp, and he is after the person who he believes was one of the guards at the camp who's responsible for the death of his family. So what he has done is he's written himself notes because he knew he was losing his memory. He's written himself notes, and he has this plan to go and seek revenge on this person. And we follow him on his journey. And this is just so full of twists and turns and things that you don't see coming. I was so surprised at things that happen in this movie. And again, I don't want to get into it because I don't do spoilers. I want you to watch it. But really, really good. It's a little bit, you know, it's a story. It's not, like I say, it's not a barn burner. It's a story that you have to follow. Be patient with it. The payoff is huge. It's a really, really good movie and great performance from Christopher Plummer. So definitely check this one out. Remember. And this next one comes, this is a great movie. It's based on a true story. It stars one of my favorite actors, actresses, whatever you want to say, Jessica Chastain. And I really think that she deserves a lot more credit than she gets, and a lot more hype than she gets, because I think she's fantastic in everything she does. Even if the movie isn't great, I think she's great. But this movie is great, and she's great. And it's called Molly's Game. It's based on a true story. Jessica Chastain plays Molly Bloom. I guess it's Bloom, Blume, who was Olympic. She was an Olympic class skier she was injured while she was competing to go to the Olympics, and it was a career-ending injury. So what she ends up doing is she ends up starting these poker games, and they said it's the world's most exclusive high stakes game. I mean, that's a pretty big game. And she had like captains of industry, she had actors, she had professional athletes, all kinds of people were trying to get into her game, her games. And she ran a really tight ship. She was really careful. But of course she came under the radar of law enforcement, and this is her story. And this is a very, very, it's a fast-paced story. The dialogue goes really quickly in this story, and it's very smart. So one of my recommendations would be, the second time I watched it, I did put the subtitles on because I didn't want to miss anything, but you can tell that she's a very smart, very capable woman, and she was in this world where it's a very high stakes situation she put herself in, and she tells her story, and just follow along because you will not be disappointed. This is a really, really interesting and very good movie, and Jessica Chastain, she just hits it out of the park. She's fantastic. So if you haven't seen Molly's Game, put it on your list. Now this one is a classic. It's from 1950, and I just popped it in one night. I wanted to watch it again. I hadn't seen it in a while. It's a Billy Wilder film called Sunset Boulevard. I hadn't seen it in a while, popped it in, and I just had such a blast with it. And I started talking to my good friend Cinema Dave. He hadn't seen it. He watched it. He loves it. I told my friend John from Plaid X2. I told him about it, so he put it on his watch list, and we were just having so much fun talking about this movie. It's awesome. If you haven't seen it, definitely put it on your list. It's so good. It's so campy. It's so weird and creepy at times, but it's so much fun. Basically what we do is we start out and we see there's a man swimming he's floating in a swimming pool, and he's obviously dead, or what, he's obviously dead. And then you hear a narrator come in. The guy in the pool is narrating his own story. He's telling you basically how he got there. And we have, we have the start of our story, and we have this, Gloria Swanson does a fantastic job. She plays Norma Desmond is the character's name. Norma Desmond is a Hollywood actress who was an icon, who's, basically at the end of her career. Think like she's got like that mommy dearest mentality where she just can't let go of Hollywood. And she's dying to be back in the studios and in front of the camera and with her people, and, she just can't let it go. She's kind of losing it, and she lives in this big house all by herself with her butler named Max. And along comes this guy, Joe Gillis. Joe Gillis is a screenwriter. He's having trouble. He's a young man who's trying to get his next big project greenlighted, and he can't seem to get a hold of it, a hold on it. And he meets up with her, and she says, "Listen, I have written a movie for myself to star in, and I want you to fix it. But the thing is, you have to stay here so I can see what you're doing at all times." And that's where we go. And I'm going to leave it at that. All I can say is the longer it goes, the weirder it gets. It's crazy. It's campy. It's fun. You are going to have a great time with this. So if you haven't seen Sunset Boulevard, it's a classic for a reason. It is awesome. So put it on the top of your list to check out. And when you watch it, come back and let me know what you think, because I think you're going to have a blast with it. And this next one, I think it was either the second or the third video that I did on this channel, and this was part of the stack of movies that I reviewed, and it's from 2017, and it's called Only the Brave. And this is also based on a true story, and it's based on a group of firefighters called the Granite Mountain Hotshots. And these guys trained so that they would be accepted to be they were like the first municipal fire company that was approved to go in and start fighting. They're like the front line when you hear about these wildfires. They are the front line people who keep the fires from pushing forward, and basically they were protecting their own town. So they go in, they fight these fires, they put themselves in harm's way all the time to protect the town that they live in. And this is their story, and it's really cool. You get to see how they train, you get to see how they find new recruits, and you follow them along. You know, you see how hard it is to have a relationship with someone who's constantly, you don't know if they're going to come back from a call, and you don't know what's going to happen to them. And this is a really, really interesting and really good story, and it's a very important story. And you know, if you've seen it, please don't spoil it in the comments, because there are things that happen, there are twists and turns that happen in this that you don't always expect. But I think this is a really important story for people to see, and this is a really brave bunch of men who put their lives on the line for everyone else, and I think they're heroes all around. So definitely check out Only the Brave if you haven't seen it yet. It's really good. And this one is, I believe it's in Korean. Okay, it's in Korean. So it's Korean with English subtitles. It's called JSA, stands for Joint Security Area. It's a film by Park Chan-wook, and it's a pretty simple premise at the beginning. You have North Korea and South Korea, and there's a neutral area between where one starts and the other one stops. And in this neutral area, there's not supposed to be any shooting. There's two little guard, like houses, if you want to call them. Little, like huts, little houses where the guards stay. And one night shots are fired and people are killed, and authorities come out to investigate what happened. This movie is the story. We backtrack to find out what happened. I really can't say more than that because I'll ruin it. All I can say is this movie is fantastic. It is so good. It is so much better than I ever thought it was going to be. I think I got this one in for review. I may have gotten it in for review from Arrow, but I thought this movie was great. I recommended it to a few people who really enjoyed it, and you will not be disappointed. You will never see it coming what happens at the end, but it's fantastic, and I say it's great. And don't worry about the subtitles. It's very easy to follow. If you can concentrate on if you can just get the reading in, you'll be able to enjoy the picture as well. It's not hard to do. Now this next one is, I love this one. I saw this at an independent movie house by me. It's like an art house movie theater. They only have 2 screens. It's great. They show the coolest movies, and they show them way before they end up in the big theater chains. It stars Paul Giamatti, and it is called Win-Win. Paul Giamatti plays he's a lawyer, but he's not yet. He's a long-suffering lawyer, and on the side he's a high school wrestling coach. And, you know, his team's not doing so great. He's kind of down on his luck, and he's getting frustrated. And then this runaway comes along, and somehow he ends up with him. And he realizes that, you know, the kid wants to jump in and he wants to wrestle a little bit. He finds out that the kid is an amazing wrestler. So they take him on the team, and he's doing great. And he's living in the character, the coach's. He's living in the coach's basement of his house. So he's got a setup down there, and he's living there. He's going to school. He's doing well, and we follow him on his journey. And I don't want to tell you what happens. All I can say is this is a fantastic movie. And when I saw it, no one had ever heard of it. When I started telling people about it, they're like, I haven't heard of it, because it wasn't released in the theaters, in the big chains yet. But it is so, so good. And I love Paul Giamatti. I think he's great in everything, and he definitely doesn't disappoint in this. And this is one of those like stand up and cheer moments. So if you have not seen Win-Win, put it on your list. Check it out. I don't think you'll be disappointed. I know you won't be disappointed. It's fantastic. And this is a very early film from Taika Waititi, who you may know from Hunt for the Wilder People, or Wilder. Is it Wilder People or Wilder People? Either or. Also, he was involved in Flight of the Conchords, and of course, Jojo Rabbit was his big claim to fame, and then of course Thor Ragnarok. But this is one of his very early films, and it's called Boy. And what we have is a young man, a young boy. And he's obsessed with Michael Jackson, among other things. He also, his mother has passed away. He doesn't have a mother. He and his brother live with his grandmother, and his father he's in jail. But for some reason, he idolizes his father. All he wants to do is get to know him. He wants the chance to meet him. He wants to bond with him. He thinks they're going to have this great relationship. And one day, lo and behold, his father comes rolling up with a bunch of his friends. He's in a car. He wants to hang out with the kid. And what the father's looking for is money that before he left, he buried in the yard at the grandmother's house. So we follow them on their journey, and this is a very multi-layered film. At the surface, it might seem like a very superficial comedy. It's not. It's about grief. It's about loss. It's about bonding with your family members. It's about disappointment. It's about happiness. It's about being a kid. It's about, you know, all kinds of things wrapped up in it. And there are some very heavy things that are going on in this movie if you watch it and you pick up on it. And Taika Waititi does a great job playing the dad, and the dynamics between him and the boys is really, really good. And I just think this is fantastic. It's not a film that people talk about a lot when they mention him, but I think it's one that I think it's overlooked because it's just so far back in his filmography. But this is one of his films that is readily available on Amazon. You can pick it up on Amazon. I know Hunt for the Wilder People is not easy to find. I think it's currently out of print, but if you want to see a great older film from him, definitely do not sleep on Boy. It's a great film. And I really enjoyed it. I watch it again and again. Now this one I did talk about, I don't know, not too long ago, but I really enjoyed this. It's a film that stars Mads Mikkelsen, who never ever disappoints, and I believe it's in Dutch. It's in Danish. Okay, it's in Danish with English subtitles, but it's called The Hunt. This is a great drama. Basically, what it is he is a man who he's living in this small community where he has a lot of friends, he has a lot of support. He is a single dad. He's got a great network of friends, and he decides to take this job working at a school. It's like an elementary school setting, so I don't know how old the kids go to, but they're younger kids. It's an elementary school. There's an accusation made. Now this guy, he is a pillar of the community. People he's so popular, he's so well liked, but there's an accusation made, and you see in this film how quickly and how bad things can change and how quickly things can go wrong for someone when an accusation, unsubstantiated, is made. And that's all I'm going to say about it. This is a really amazing movie. He gives a great performance, and it's a very eye-opening movie. So if you haven't seen The Hunt, highly recommend it. And any fan of Mads Mikkelsen, you will be blown away. He gives a fantastic performance. So definitely check out The Hunt. And I wish I could say more, but I can't because I'll ruin it, and I'm not going to do that because I want you to see it. Now this last one I talked about it recently. I did a video with my good friend John over Plaid X2. I'm going to link that right up here because we really break the movie down and we talk about it. It's called Movies We Love, and this was one of them. And it is Nebraska, and this is such a fantastic movie. It's shot in black and white, which is great. Let me see if I can see. This is from 2013 also, so it's back a bit. It's 10 years old, but it's shot in black and white, which I think is a really interesting artistic choice, and I think it really works for this movie. Stars Bruce Dern, and he is an older grumpy man. He's just miserable, and he just wants to be left alone. And he gets one of those mailers in the mail where he believes it's like a magazine thing, and he believes he's won $1 million, and no one will take him to claim his $1 million. So he starts to walk to go to get his $1 million, and they keep going out and bringing him home. The police are called. They keep just keep picking him up and bringing him home. So one of his two sons says, "Listen, all right, fine, I will drive you. We will cash it in, and we will get your, you will see." The son's telling me, he's like, "It's a scam, Dad. It's a scam. It's not. You didn't win $1 million." And I won $1 million. It says I won. Fine, I'll drive you. So basically, what we end up having is a road trip. And they stop and visit family, and they stop in old places where he used to hang out, and you see friends, and you learn about the character Bruce Dern is playing. You learn about his life, and his son is learning about his life as they go on this road trip together. and it's very darkly comedic, but it's very heartfelt and it's very moving, and it's just very eye-opening for him as his son to see who his father really is, because he doesn't really know his father very well, and he learns about him on this road trip together. And who's the June Squibb, I believe is her name, who plays his wife. She is fantastic. And at one point they decide to have like this family reunion, and they all come in, and she comes in, and the other son, played by Bob Odenkirk, he comes in. And Bob Odenkirk, I wish he had been in the movie more, but he isn't. But when he is in it, he's good. But so the rest of the family ends up coming in. So then the four of them are all together, and they're in this car, and I'm not going to say anymore because I'm going to ruin it. But anyway, it's a fantastic movie, and it's a great movie about family, about father-son relationships, about family dynamics, about aging parents, caring for aging parents, and really, really good stuff. It's going to make you laugh. It's going to make you well up. It's going to, again, it ticks all the boxes, and I just think Nebraska is fantastic. I could watch it anytime, anywhere, with anyone. So definitely put it on your list of movies to watch. So those are the 10 I picked for today. I hope that you found something that maybe you haven't seen before, so you can put it on your list of movies to watch. If you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up, leave me some comments, recommendations, suggestions. You know the drill. If you like this kind of stuff, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want to know when I'm going to have more content. Like I said, this week coming up is going to be big. It's going to be fun, so be on the lookout for the notifications. But that's going to do it for me today. I am going to go, and I am going to enjoy a dinner with my family because they're leaving tomorrow morning, and I'm going to go do that. So I hope you all have a great rest of the evening, and for now, that's a wrap.